Hi class. So I am going to talk to you guys about the note card assignment and how to complete it correctly, okay? But before I do, I want to show you guys a short video that discusses APA in-text citations and how to complete that, okay? So I'm going to put this on full screen and I'm going to play this, and all I want you guys to do is watch this video along with me, and then I will explain how to do APA in-text citations, which is something you're going to have to do in your note card assignment. All right, guys, so that was the video that kind of discussed what to do with APA in-text citations. So here's kind of how your APA in-text citations are going to look. You're going to have probably the author's last name. If you don't have an author's last name, you will use a title, okay, as she showed before. You include the year of publication, and you're going to include the paragraph number because we're not going to have any page numbers. All right, so I'm going to go back to the note card steps, all right, and I'm going to walk you guys through this assignment. I'm going to post this YouTube video URL right there so you guys can watch that first. Step 2 is to go to the 6 website articles you cited in APA style last week and read the articles, okay? What you're going to do is really pay attention to what quotes you could use in your paper. Think about you're probably going to want to kind of define the American value that you're talking about. You're going to want to provide some examples in your paper, some explanation for each one of those. So really pay attention to finding quotes about the 3 values that you listed in your thesis statement, okay? Step 3 is to copy and paste your thesis statement and citations from citationmachine.net onto a new Word document. So the reason I'm having you guys do this is I don't want you to change I haven't graded all of your references and thesis assignment, and so I want you just to create a new document, but you're basically copying and pasting everything that you did last week. You want to make sure that your citations are in alphabetical order, all right, and then you're going to title the Word document Note Cards. So for instance, this was my example, no, sorry, that's the wrong document. This was my example from last week. Okay, so you would basically take all of this, okay, and you would copy it, and then you create a new document and you paste it, okay, and then you are going to title this Note Cards. Okay, So that's all you do. Make sure that if you indented correctly last week like you were supposed to, it should indent correctly this week as well. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the note card steps, okay? So the next step is the one that takes the most time, and this is where you're going back to the websites, okay, back to the articles that you found, and you're going to be copying and pasting quotes from the cited websites. So you need to make sure that you introduce your quote with one website states. You're putting quotation marks around what you copied and pasted, so you're showing me that it's not your own words. And then you're completing an APA in-text citation, each quote at the end. Remember, an in-text citation includes whatever comes first in the citation. It's usually the author's last name or the title, the year of publication, or N.D. if there is no date, and then the paragraph number from where you found your quote. And guys, you're just going to estimate the best you can. You're going to count from the very top and say that's approximately paragraph 20 or approximately paragraph 10, okay? Below is an example of an APA in-text citation that's formatted correctly, and this is from that article that you guys read last week. So notice it's introduced with one website states, okay? It has a quote around what I copied and pasted, okay? It's got another quote here. That is the end of the quote. So notice that there's no period here, okay? And then in parentheses, this is what I want you guys to do. This is the APA in-text citation. So I'm going to show you kind of this source and why. Basically, I used the title because there was no author. I used N.D. because there was no date listed on the website, and then I included the paragraph number. If you can find an author's last name and at least a year of publication, that's usually best. But again, not all websites are going to have a date, okay? So I'm going to show you guys what an example of sort of a note card assignment looks like. So this is copied and pasted. Remember, revised note card. So you've got your revised thesis statement up top. I'll talk about what that is in a minute. You've got it titled note cards, and then you've got all of your websites. These last four are the ones that I completed, okay, and I want to show you kind of how I did that. So I used this website. This is the one that we looked at last week. So what I did is I introduced it with one website states, and again, you guys can see from this citation, okay, that it doesn't have an author's last name first, so I'm going to use what are American values, okay? In parentheses here, it doesn't have a date. Usually you're going to have a year of publication there, like 2020 or 2019. So you're going to put whatever that date is. Here in this instance, it's N.D. for no date because I couldn't find one. And then it's the paragraph number, and I just counted where that was from. So let me go ahead and go back to this website to show you guys where I found that quote. So here's your website. I counted this as the first paragraph. This right here is the second paragraph, and this is the third paragraph. So again, all I did is I copied and pasted this right here, okay? So I'll show you guys, I copied it. I went to my, let me find it here, Notecard Example, okay? I pasted it here, all right? I introduced it with one website states. I put quotes around it, okay? Notice there's a period here, so I'm gonna get rid of that period. And then again, for an APA in-text citation, what you guys are including is whatever comes first here. So what are American values? That's what I'm titling it. What are American values? Okay, I'm putting N.D. because there is no date, so we couldn't find that. And then, as I said before, it was from paragraph 3. So I put para 3, and then I put my period outside the parentheses. Okay, so now you guys can go back and make this Times New Roman 12-point font. If you want to make sure that it's black, you can click on that, and that's how I got that citation. Okay, so what I've done, and again, these websites are actually from my 10th grader class from that example, but basically I've shown you guys the format of the APA in-text citation for each one of these sources. So BBC, N.D. and then the paragraph number. For this one, Martin M. Okay, so notice Martin is the last name, M is the first name, so I just need the last name. I've got 2018 here, so I'm using 2018 for my date, and then paragraph number. So here you've got multiple authors. Technically, if you guys want to do this correct, it would be math, and then this last name, which is a really weird last name. So Betty, okay? So if you wanted to be technically correct, you would include both authors, last names there if you have multiple authors. If you only include the first one, it's okay, because I'll still know what source it's from, but technically you include both authors' last names, 2012, and then the paragraph number from where you got the information from. Here, I had a publisher, but I didn't have, it was like the admin, so I just included the first name here, 2015, because that's the year publication, and then the paragraph number. Here I had, this is the author's last name, so I included the author's last name here. 2020, again, 2020 is the date. You don't need the month and the day, and then the paragraph number. And then again, these are all quotes from that article that you guys did last week, that you read through last week, okay? So hopefully APA in-text citations make sense. Basically, it's whatever comes first here, that's what you're copying and pasting. If it's an author's last name, you just need the author's last name. If it's a title, you can include like a shortened version of the title, and then you're including the date and the paragraph number, okay? And that is an APA in-text citation. So let me go ahead and go back to these steps. So you are going to copy and paste your quotes again from the cited websites. You're going to introduce your quote, you're going to put quotation marks around it, and you're completing the APA in-text citation. So you're going to do that, okay, for basically 20 times. Now let me say this, I am fine if you want to include, like if there's one website that's really, really good and you want to use like 8 quotes from that one, but only maybe 1 or 2 from another article, that's fine. You just have to have 20 total. Okay, so you're numbering your note cards 1 to 20. Make sure that your citations are organized alphabetically. So what I mean by that, okay, if I go back to this, you guys will see, notice that BBC, okay, so B comes before M, okay, which comes before this. So again, you're going through here and you're making sure that whatever comes first in the citation, that's organized alphabetically. Then underneath each one, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you will just number all of your note cards 1 to 20. Okay. So again, the last 4 are the only ones that are completed, just to give you an idea of how it looks. But you guys can kind of see the format of the note cards. You'll have 20 total quotes from your note cards. Okay. And then you are going to look at my feedback from your thesis and references assignment. This is going to be posted by Tuesday at 12, so at noon. And then you're going to revise your thesis statement based off of my feedback. If I tell you, hey, your thesis statement is great, nothing needs to be changed, and you won't change anything. But if I say, oh, you didn't put 3 values in there, or why don't you word it like this so it's more concise? Or maybe, I talk about how a thesis statement needs to be in 1 sentence. So maybe your first draft didn't have a thesis in 1 sentence. So make sure, again, this is going to be posted by tomorrow, but revise your thesis statement based off of my feedback. And then you're going to copy and paste, or you're going to include your revised thesis statement at the top of your note card assignment. And then step 7 is just to submit your note card assignment. So just to be clear, for this assignment, you should have included your revised thesis statement at the top of your note card assignment. You should have your 6 cited websites copied and pasted from your thesis and references assignment, and that's just the citationmachine.net information. And you should have 20 note cards that's formatted correctly and including the APA in-text citations, okay? Let me know if you guys have any questions on this note card assignment. If you need additional time, guys, you can take additional time. I'm just kind of trying to get you guys to get most of your research done this week so you can focus next week on actually writing the paper. But if you need more time, then I give you on the assignment, you're more than welcome to take it. Again, be looking for my feedback on the thesis references assignment. I'll make sure I get that to you posted by noon tomorrow. And email me if you have any questions, okay? So I look forward to looking over these note cards and making sure that you guys do this in APA format. If you do this correctly, you should be able to copy and paste some of your note cards directly into your outline and then directly into your paper. So that's why this assignment is really important, because it's going to make writing your paper easier. Okay? Make sure you guys email me if you have any questions. Again, I look forward to looking at your research and reading over these note card entries. So thank you guys so much. Let me know how I can help.